now we're here with Jeff, otherwise known as Steptoe, and Jeff and his wife do a lot of work for this rally. You happy this year?
Very happy. Biggest crew we've had.
And some amazing bikes. And we've got a brand new bike, we've got fantastic things that have come up from South Australia and from all over. You've got more bikes here this year, I think, than any other year prior. And one of the more interesting ones is one that you brought, mate, a bit of a unicorn. And
a bit of a unicorn, a bit of a unique machine.
And it is a Martini.
1978 Martini.
So tell us about the Martini, what's it all about?
What I know of, not having done a lot of research yet, it came up for sale, so we grabbed it, said yes, and we'll sort it out later. It was to do with Mike Harwood's coming out of retirement for 78 and 79, I hope, Isle of TT.
Right.
After he'd retired for however many years, I don't know his full history. And apparently, so the story goes, TT was dying and losing strength and numbers, so Yamaha and John Moggett and Martini got together and designed this thing. This never went around TT, and Mike Harwood never rode it on the TT. He was just given one to lure him in by Yamaha, and he ended up riding for someone else.
Ducati.
So I don't know the full history of it, but this is where it came from. So they made 500 of them, some for the UK market and some for the Euro market.
Righto. So how did you end up with it?
I ended up with it from an importer in Sydney, Old Gold Motorcycles. They rang a friend up who they knew prior, and he didn't have the money. He put it onto me, and I said yep, and we'll work the rest out later.
So what is the difference between a Martini and a normal XS11? Is it only aesthetics?
Apart from the John Moggett fairing, John Moggett was a cartoonist, I believe, and he designed the fairing. The idea of the handlebar and the top and the bottom fairing was to keep the bike as narrow as they could, because if you most like the Windjammer, the fairing would have had to be out here either side, and just made the machine bigger and bigger and bigger. We've just found out in the last half an hour it's got a high-speed diff in it.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of the XS1100 owners are putting 850 diffs in it.
Yes.
So it makes the diff taller, brings the engine revs down at 100 kilometres an hour. Well, apparently this is standard.
Right.
The high speed diff in it.
Okay.
Other than that, it's an XS1100.
Yes.
2H9 motor, 78, with the Martini livery and the decals. And goes like the showers.
And you're on the hunt now for all of the other Martinis.
I'm on the hunt to find out where all the others are. There was, like I said before, there was 500 made. We know of, in the last 3 weeks, we've found about 27. Other than that, we're still hunting for them.
Right.
We're hunting for information, trying to decipher the legend from the true stories and everybody's take on a story. So we're trying to find the true information about them and where we can get parts, if parts are available.
So I guess if anybody out there knows of one sitting in a barn or a shed, or knows anything about the history,
It'll be in Europe.
It'll be in Europe.
And the UK.
And we probably ask that you get in touch via the XS1100 Australia.com forum. .com.au, sorry.
Or Andy's page.
Or my Facebook page, or the XS1100 Australia Facebook page. Well, thank you, Jeffrey, for showing us your unicorn.
No worries.
You've been unicorning all up and down the road on it today, spreading good unicorn goodness.
Sprinkling dust everywhere.
And loving it.
And loving it.
Yep. Well, thanks again.
No worries, thank you.
All right, mate. Bye.
So, Steptoe here, Jeff McPhee, and we've turned the camera on Andy. So,
All right, let's go.
All right, mate. What do you like about the 1100? Where's it start?
Well, it started for me. It was an accidental meeting, I guess. I was looking for a bike that I could do a cafe race out of, and this one came along. It was an RH originally, and it had been neglected for decades, lying in a backyard. Got the whippersnipper out, found it in up against a fence, and dragged it out and took it home. So that was where it started. It wouldn't have been my first choice, but now I'm a devotee. So I went from a non-believer, I guess, to someone who absolutely loves these bikes.
So the aim is, we built this one, and it's just spreading 1100 or spreading the cafe feeling around the world, or what are we?
Yeah, it's. I guess it's just something you want to share, I suppose, and you find like-minded people and people that have got the skills and the knowledge and the connections and the networks to help you get these bikes back on the road. I like the cafe style. That's just me. I like a bit left of centre, a little bit weird, but I also have a really good appreciation for the survivor bikes and the restos. This bike was beyond that, so for me this was a good option.
Drag it out of the grave almost.
Drag it out of the grave and give it a new lease of life and build it in a cafe racer style. And I guess it's an ongoing, evolving process that who knows where or when, if ever, it will end. Because I guess the good thing about motorbikes is that if sometime down the track I decide I don't like the seat, don't like the tank, whatever, I can change it and I can rebirth it as another bike.
Yep.
Or a different style of bike.
And along the way, learning what you don't know about it, and then teaching other people when they ask questions, and helping other people along the way as well.
That's right, and that's something that you're very familiar with yourself.
That's right, yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that are reaching out, and there's a lot of guys, I guess, that take on these projects that are probably a little bit over their head, and they start looking for people to help them out.
Yep.
And that's where it becomes very useful to have that network and to have somewhere you can go and relate to those.
Yeah. People want to build these bikes up and they don't have the money, and they don't have the money for labour, which is the big killer. Try and have a crack at it themselves and get stuck, hung up on something, and like you say, reach out and give us a hand and well, here mate, have a crack at this, and this is what you do. Throw it on a video and spit it up, and there you go.
I think people nowadays, guys really don't want to do a lot of research in terms of reading, pouring through lots of information.
Yeah, that's right. They want the information now.
Drill down very quickly
and
get a visual on what they're trying to achieve. And YouTube has been a very good vehicle for that process. So,
and they can see it. A lot of it is in real time.
That's right. Yeah.
A lot of the stuff I do, a lot of stuff I do, and a lot of stuff you do is in actual real time, pulling it down, pulling it apart. Undo this, undo that, pull that apart, put it back together, and if it takes you 20 minutes, that's how long it.
Yeah, it's
that's
funny,
it.
Because when I first started the YouTube channel, it was so that I could share it with my father and mates in Queensland. I never sort of thought it'd keep developing the way it has, but it can be a difficult thing to manage as well, because there's a lot of expectation. But it is real time, and I know you study the analytics and you think, all right, well the longer videos maybe not as popular, let's try and shorten them up, and you try and think about how people that are watching your videos think. And the ones that you think will be least successful are often the most successful. And the ones that you think, oh, that was a really good video, flop. But I know that I put up one recently when I did the engine upgrade, and somebody made a comment, I'm so glad to see these longer videos back, because they like the content. They like to be able to actually sit there and watch the process, pull the engine apart, do whatever you're doing.
Almost real time now.
So that's, I guess that is working.
So a background in motorcycling, a background in mechanics, a background in...
I grew up on motorbikes. I had no choice. My father was a motorcyclist, always has been. His mother rode motorcycles. All my uncles rode motorcycles. So we started as little tackers on dirt bikes, and I was primarily into dirt bikes as a kid. And growing up, there was a bit of a hiatus there when I first got married and had kids, where dirt bikes sort of went by the wayside. Had a few road bikes over the years, And then when I sort of was presented with the opportunity to be able to get back into bikes, and when my kids were little, and get them on dirt bikes and we'll go riding, and then it all sort of came back. And the passion was always there. And I think that's the thing about motorcycling, is that the passion is there. And interesting, I had a conversation with one of the other guys here the other night over tea, and he said the difference between car guys and bike guys is that car guys tend to be in one camp or another. I'm Ford or I'm Holden or I'm Toyota. Bike guys, we don't care. As long as you
it's a
ride
motorcycle,
bike,
you got the wind in your hair, bugs in your teeth.
Cool, who cares?
Scars on your knees.
That's right, yeah. So that's I think it is true. It's very much a community, motorcycling, and no matter where you go or what sort of bike you ride, someone's always going to come up and talk to you.
Yeah.
All good.
Very good.
We done?
It's a bit of a debrief.
Thank you.
So, for the first timers, we've got several first timers this year. Some guys on Facebook, a couple of good guys at the forums. So the little group's slowly growing. Started with not very many people when Christian started. It's growing and growing and growing with each year, which is really good. We're getting finding more and more bikes, and finding unicorns, and rebuilding bikes from nothing, and all sorts of things. So everybody that's travelled 1,200 k's, 14, 1,500 k's, 2 and 3 days to get in, that's more than appreciated by the guys that have done it. And the guys that have come not that far at all. So, yeah, he's only 100 k's further along the line. So we had special guests this year. Mel, Kim and Gary teamed up from way down to Adelaide. Coops dragged them along, make sure they got in. So thanks very much for taking the time out of your world to come and visit ours. It's been excellent. Can imagine. Very busy men. Yeah. So thank you very much to have such a legend of our 1100 in our midst. Thanks very much for coming up. So we also gave Mel and the boys the job of judging the machines. So we'll go through and do a little bit of that. We've got best modified, best unrestored, best standard, and we've got, what's this one, James?
It's the hard one.
That's the hard one. And this one was the best RH, wasn't it? Best RH. So, Mel, if you'd like to come up with your results, if you've got the results, do you have the results? That'd be yours, Fleming. Judges are straight. Best modified. Andy's basket case. Most unrestored original goes to John Beckett.
That's the little Scotty Memorial.
This. The most original unrestored is the Scotty's, the Memorial, most original unrestored. Youngest bike rider combo.
Kenny Baker.
So the youngest bike to the youngest bike and the youngest rider. Young James. Young James. Father-son combo. Well done, mate. Oldest bike rider combo. Well, what year model's the CBX? 81. It's all yours, mate.
Sales is excess and still wins it.
distance pillion.
Is there any chance?
Who came on a pillion? Well, Fane, yeah. Fane, Tim and Fane.
Where are they?
They must have gone back to the yard. They must have gone back to the road. Right, so that's Fane. Longest distance rider. There you go, son. It's all yours, dude. Don't worry, this one, although it may be small in stature, it has a huge heart, and it is for the lady. Puts this together.
Nice little leg cut.
Nice, thank you.
This is the Hard Luck Award.
But it's got to be here to get it.
I'll take that for you.
So the latest news that we have is he's out of surgery. He went into surgery today, so he's out of surgery. He's all sewn up, high on drugs off his face. He has a brace on that he will be on for the next 3 months. I don't know whether that's a straight brace or one that just a weight bearing brace.
It can't be completely safe.
So, but that's the latest we have. When's he coming out of hospital? Comes out tomorrow.
Monday?
Sunday, Monday.
They said they're releasing him on Monday.
Oh, sorry, I apologize.
So have we got time to get a stuffed kangaroo and stick the valve through it?
We'll see what we can do. But yeah, this year it's the it's the Hard Luck, and that's Mr. Horns.
Yes, definitely.